Hello, Renee Flamont here. You guys, as I spoke about on the last two videos, I reached out and contacted the new supply of my narcissist. I did. Please look them up. We talked about it a lot in the last two videos. I want to talk with this video is, do I regret it? Because I think some of you might have that question. Well, do you regret it? Do you think if you did it over again? Like some of you might be contemplating whether or not to contact the new supply. And, you know, again, look at those two videos if you haven't already, because there's a lot to think of. But I want you to understand the decision to contact the new supply was not one I made lightly. I thought about it for months and months. I went all over it. And it's not my business if he's betraying her. That's what I thought. It's really not my business if he's betraying her. Renee, stay out of it. It's not your business. They're 3 hours from you. It's not your business. You're going to look like a stalker. You're going to look like the crazy ex-girlfriend. Ultimately, I kept landing on the fact. So think of this if you're thinking of doing it. I kept landing on the fact that I could not sit knowing that I could contact her, because he told me her name. He was triangulating me with her. So he showed me her. He showed me, you know what I mean? He let me see his phone when it rang. Her name was there. Like, it wasn't hard. So I kept landing where, okay, so I can contact her. And you know her man keeps contacting me. I couldn't not say something. Now, if I couldn't contact her and he didn't let me know her name and he didn't make it easy, I wouldn't have researched it and private investigated my way to finding her or anything like that. But one day I was just like, there it is. It's 2022. Her name came up. There it is. You can message anybody on Instagram. I did. I made a clip. I'm used to it. It sat there till she was ready to hear it. And I go, I'll send this to you. It's a summation. And then I started sending her more. She goes, what else? I said, I got more. And I sent her the receipts and all that business. Now, I made sure when I made her a clip, I was like, I want you to understand I'm not a crazy stalker ex-girlfriend. I'm not interested in him. I'm not interested in him. I'm interested in your well-being. That's the angle from which I came, right? So I don't regret contacting her, but in some cases, it could be a regrettable action or decision on your part, depending on a few things, okay? I looked at his new supply. I looked at her. I saw a fellow woman, a fellow victim to him. And in line with why I started this channel, I was like, ooh, you can do your part in person to stop it. You can do your part mano a mano. Call the victim. One victim at a time, we're helping people, right? You can help this victim. That's what I had in my mind. If you are maybe contemplating it and wanting to go at it from a mean perspective, I would think that through. They could be tough. People fight each other, women, men, doesn't matter. I wouldn't even know what to do if somebody, I'm going to fight you. I wouldn't even, are you kidding me? No. This girl's 3 hours away. I came at it friendly, right? I felt terrible for her. And I lamented for months and months and months. I want to really make that clear. So if it's not something you don't want to contact new supply on a whim, on an impulse, drunk, right? It used to be drunken dial, we used to say 30 years ago. Now it's drunken text, drunken social media, drunken, right? I wouldn't do it then. I would do it with a lot of thought, in a clear state of mind, and come at them as an ally. I can't stand her. There's no way, Renee. I'll never be an ally. I understand. Okay, then maybe you shouldn't come. Maybe this isn't for you. If you can't muster that up. And you might be justified. They might have stolen them right out from under you. You might be justified in hating the new supply. You don't want to be nice to them. But I encourage you to think of it, if you do want to contact them, how will they receive you? Base is a lot about how you approach them. This woman talked to me a couple times, texted me back and forth more than one round, because I came at her as an ally, as a friend. I'm not interested in him. I didn't want to talk to him. When she called me, he was sitting there, and I said, he's going to sit there for the conversation? Okay, let him hear all the answers. And he did. And he even tried to say, because she had it on speakerphone, when she asked me about, okay, I have one question. Were you intimate, though? And when I said, I told her the exact dates that I was. I keep a daily planner. And I think I opened it. And I was like, I'm looking at it right now. And he was sitting there. He goes, oh, yeah? He didn't say no. He goes, oh, yeah. Yeah, is that right? I go, oh, please. You're going to try to lie? I wrote it down. You think I want to brag that I was intimate with you? I'm embarrassed. I wouldn't lie about it. If anything, I would lie and say I wasn't, because I'm mortified that I did. So she believed me. She stayed anyway. So that's something you have to be prepared for too. If you are going at it from the way that I was, I don't regret it, but I feel regret for her and bad for her that she stayed anyway. That I feel bad. I feel terrible. I feel terrible for her. Terrible. But I truly did not want to ruin her day. That's not what I was out to do. I was not out to try to ruin, because I'm sure I obliterated her idea of what her life was. That's a lot of responsibility that I had on my shoulders. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to ruin this lady's whole, she thinks she's moving in with him. She thinks because I told you in the video. He even contacted me after that with an email, I love you. And I lamented over that. Do I tell her? I've already told her. She's decided to stay with him. Do I tell her this? Yep, I sent it to her. And she said to me very plainly, I thank you for your information. I appreciate you looking out for me, but I feel very confident in my path with him. As I'm sending her a copy of an email that says, I love you. And I said, okay, I just wanted you to know that that man with whom you are planning all these things is sending someone else messages that he loves them. And I told her right out, I said, my guess is he probably did that to many people, not just me. That's all it said was, I love you. In the subject line, if I recall. I said, he probably did that and just kept changing the thing. But she chose. So I don't regret doing it. I don't. But she was being duped, and I felt terrible. And that just kept biting at me, the fact that she was being duped. I just wanted her to have the information. I made a video once before, and I said, it was months back, and I said, if you're going to cheat on me, just tell me at least, so I have my choice. And she had her choice. He wasn't telling her, I did. She chose. That's fine. That's her choice. It kept biting at me, so I did it. Is it a good idea to contact New Supply in general? I mean, as a rule, I don't regret doing it, but there is a lot of caution to speak of. Things could have gone very differently. First of all, she's 3 hours away. There isn't an opportunity for interaction in person. Some people could react violently. They could find you. They could harass you. They could, I don't know, call your job, show up somewhere in a parking lot and try to like beat you up or something. This girl was big. She would have flattened me. Who knows what people can do? Talk about love. It's the people go nuts. So you got to keep that in mind. I wasn't fear of any of that. They're 3 hours away. No one's driving up here to pick on some 5'1" person who was friendly to you on the phone trying to pass along information for your benefit. I wasn't in fear of that. But you have to think it all through. Not everyone's going to react the way that she did, and not everyone's going to come at it the way that I did with her. And you know, again, this was last summer, and it took me a year to really, I don't know, really understand how I felt about it. And that's why I haven't talked about it before now. I really wanted to think long and hard, and there's been no communication since. Not from him, not from her, not past that email that I sent to her, and then that was our last conversation. And to this day, that poor girl is with him, I think. Now, in my heart, I break for her because I know the devalue already happened. We discuss this all the time. Once that happens, they're out. One foot's out the door already with that narcissist because they need somebody who reveres them. Well, you don't think she's revering him, let alone what I told her he was doing with me. He's done other things wrong with other people. She told me. He told me. So she's been dealing with the devalue of this person even before I communicated with her. And she chose to stay with him even after that information. It's a tough call. But I am out to help each one of us, one person at a time. And I felt she should know. And I've told you that before. I'm not quiet. I said everything to the narcissists. They tell you not to. They tell you don't use a lot of words. They're not going to get anywhere. They don't have empathy. They'll never understand how you feel. And I understand that. She doesn't. She stayed in it. So she still thinks what? That he's true and he's real and he really loves her. And he probably cried with her and said he felt so bad and made up something. And she believed him and is crying over it too. And he doesn't understand anything. He doesn't have empathy. So she's going through all of that, which I did with each infraction, which all of you did with each infraction. She's going through it now. Grown woman in her 50s. We all, but no matter what I said. And that brings up the point again and again and again and again and again. What would it take you to have left, right? I can't help thinking of that. This woman is staying. I don't regret it. I don't. I didn't apparently ruin her relationship. And I remember one on the phone, she goes, oh, no, it wasn't on the phone. She texted it. Oh my God, I've spent so much money on this guy. I've wasted so much money on this guy. And she went on to say, I have to pay the taxes on my house and blah, 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 blah. Right there, that tells me he was taking any gift she was bestowing upon him. And sure enough, every time he came in, he had new sneakers, new jeans. So I knew his new girlfriend was like, buying him clothes. You can tell when a guy is getting gifts given to him, right? But I said to myself, how much you want to bet? The love bomb could have come in the form of, I'll pay your house taxes. Now, this cat doesn't have a lot of dough. But if you think you're going to get a free place to live and you're about to lose that free place to live and you're love bombing someone, I bet he could make promises like that. Oh, as soon as I do this or sell these shares, I'll give you 10 grand or whatever. He said that to me all the time. Oh, I'll pay off your car one day. I'll pay that one day. I'll do this one day. I'll do that. Nothing. You never see anything. You all know that. That's the fake bribery and breadcrumbing they give you. He must have breadcrumbed up a storm. And the minute she said about, I have to pay my taxes, I've wasted so much money on this guy, I'm thinking, so she is eating up his love bombing. She's spoiling him rotten. And he's going to love bomb her, and who knows what he'll use. I did not do that. I didn't drop a lot of money on mine at all. Because I knew from the beginning he was trouble, and I was like, oh, heck no, am I going to do that? No way. That much I knew. Nope. So I don't care if he left here thinking I'm selfish, whatever. I'm not giving anything to someone that I know is a shyster. I just couldn't break away from him, but I wasn't going to give anything. You follow me? So do I regret it? Absolutely not. Do I recommend it? Maybe not. You have to really closely evaluate your situation. Is your ex dangerous? Again, I wasn't in fear of my ex walking up here and bothering me. He lives 3 hours away. Even if he drove through town, if he came to the door, I'm not answering it. I'm not afraid of him. Some of you might be. Some of your narcissists have already gotten physical. Some of your new supply and you have gotten physical already or had interactions or ugliness. Would I approach that person? Not if they've gotten ugly with you. I wouldn't put yourself in that position. They'll figure out their narcissist on their own. But this woman had never done anything to me. I thought maybe I could help her from one woman to another. It didn't. She's still there, I think, probably. I did my part. I thought you guys would find this interesting. This channel's been around since last January, and this happened a year ago. But it's time I let you know I did. You guys probably aren't surprised. I couldn't keep my mouth shut with the narcissist. I questioned everything, talked about everything to death. much to my dismay, I should have just walked out, left, and I could have saved myself all those hours. But this was part of the education that I received. I did contact New Supply, and they chose to stay anyway. I was floored, but I don't regret it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you Monday.